It's that time again. Brandon Lang here, a legend in my own mind. Wait a minute. That's my boy Steve O'Boone's line. But seeing as my man is on vacation right now, we're going to hold down the fort on my own. Brandon Lang here, and you are listening and watching Two for Your Money. And let me tell you something right now. I have had some great Super Bowl picks. I've had some great Super Bowl runs. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Sunday's Philadelphia Eagle massacre of the Kansas City Chiefs was one of my best. Shall we do a little recap of the Super Bowl? In breaking it down, I kind of said the Super Bowl reminded me of the Chiefs Tampa Bay. And I don't care how good everybody says Patrick Mahomes is. The GOAT this, the GOAT that. I think we can pump the brakes on the GOAT talk for a while. Because it really doesn't matter how good a quarterback you are in the NFL. If you ain't got time to throw, you ain't shit. And just like Tampa Bay and the Super Bowl victory over the Chiefs 31-9, the Philly defensive line did the exact same thing. And I don't want to hear this nonsense of people saying I didn't see it coming. I predicted a double-digit Philadelphia win, which pushes my Super Bowl record to 27-6-2 for my career. We had an unbelievable run with prop bets, cashing 9 of 13. Jalen Hurts MVP, Jalen Hurts over pass yards, Jalen Hurts over rush yards, Jalen Hurts over 1.5 pass TDs. We had a Devontae Smith anytime touchdown, coin toss tails, and of course, there would be a successful 2-point conversion. Only one I missed that I really wanted, Devontae Smith over 4.5 receptions. The brother had 4 and just couldn't get there. It was a Philadelphia domination. You knew it from the very beginning. And yes, as I said, as Steve and I talked about on the podcast last week, it's awful hard to go against Patrick Mahomes. It just is. But what you saw in that Super Bowl is every quarterback is human. Pressure equals problems. Pressure is a privilege, and that pressure was the difference in that Super Bowl. Give the Philadelphia Eagles credit. They sat back for 2 weeks and just listened to this Kansas City team going to make history. This Kansas City Chiefs team is going to be the first team to three-peat. This Kansas City Chiefs this Kansas City Chiefs that. Spagnuolo, Reed, time to prepare, Mahomes this, Mahomes that. And Philadelphia went out there and made the Kansas City Chiefs their bitch. The defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles absolutely bitch slapped the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs. And now we move on to next year. And the question arises to the top. If the Kansas City Chiefs do not address their offensive line issues, they are in for a long year. But I'm going to sit here right now on this Two for Your Money podcast, and I'm going to say to you, the Kansas City Chiefs run is over for now. Tom Brady went 10 years between Super Bowl wins when they had to reload and regroup and reset because the Baltimore Ravens are getting better. The Buffalo Bills are getting better. The Houston Texans defense is legit. You know why you get blowouts in the Super Bowl? Because a team gets there that shouldn't have been there. And as I said on the podcast last week, the Kansas City Chiefs at best were a 9-8 football team. They had so many close calls during the regular season and games they won that they shouldn't have won. I will take to my grave that if we had gotten the Super Bowl that we should have gotten, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Philadelphia Eagles, it would have been a much more competitive Super Bowl. But the Baltimore Ravens can't stop throwing up on themselves during the regular season, dropping games they shouldn't. And then they find themselves on the road in a playoff game instead of playing at home. And then they throw up on themselves again, as they did in Buffalo. And because of that, and because Josh Allen can't look to the left when the blitz is coming on the 4th and 5 play where the running back's wide open, we probably have a Buffalo-Philly Super Bowl. And I guarantee you Josh Allen would have been a much better play in that Super Bowl. Yeah, Philly would have still beat Buffalo, But I think Josh Allen would have managed with the offensive complexity of Buffalo to have been a better competitive Super Bowl. But it's over and it's done. The Philadelphia Eagles are legit. That defense is legit, and they are young, and they pretty much have everybody coming back. That NFC next year is going to be a slugfest. Green Bay, Minnesota, Washington, the Rams, Detroit, Philly. I think the power and the changing of the guard now falls to the NFC rather than the AFC. Next year is going to be a barn burner in the NFL. And that is your Super Bowl recap. Now it's time for what the fuck is going on. Elon Musk and Donald Trump are getting busy, and you got some shady dudes in government that got some kickbacks. You got guys making $200,000 a year that got $5 million sitting in a bank account. And Donald Trump is just getting started at the frivolous spending of the Biden administration in the government, paying a guy $2.1 million to sit in a mailroom to count mail. If that's not enough to get you, the American people, up in arms, I don't know what will. Let's go ahead and give the trannies over in Brazil $2 million to help with their transgender. I know I'm being comical, but the money that's being uncovered and what it's spent. How about let's send 60 million or 16 million or however much money it was to New York to help the immigrants. And now charges are being brought against the two individuals in charge of that. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying sitting back and watch Donald Trump go after just how pathetic the Biden administration was and the shady shit Biden was doing up until 15 minutes before he had to stop on January 20th. And Trump is now going back in and just, you know what? Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Joe. Listen, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Okay. I just want America to be treated the right way. I want America to do the right thing. I want the government to do the right thing by the American public. And if you think for 1 second in the last 4 years they did right by us, put down the drugs and get in rehab because you're delusional. And that is what the fuck is going on. All right. Now, going forward, it's all about that sport behind me right there, college basketball. And that's actually a game I had the other night. UAB at home -2.5 over North Texas. They got it done by 3. We're on a nice little heater in college basketball, which is a website you need to go to for your money. Get a free 1-day pass on Steve-O and I. Go visit the site, meet the handicappers. You'll be glad you did. College basketball has always been my best sport. We are an absolute heater right now, 15-4 my last 19. And so this Saturday, we're going to take a look at a few games for you, kind of project the line. Florida State is at home over a Clemson team. We're looking for something in the value range of Florida State 6 or more at home. If we can get that number, take the Seminoles. Leonard Hamilton stepping down, I believe, after 19 years at the end of the season. They're coming off a big road win, and now they come back home. Clemson, big emotional win last Saturday over Duke. And, of course, they got the job done just, I think, Tuesday night at home, laying the points, won by double digits. Now they're going on the road. Could be a flat spot. Let's see if we're getting 6, 7 or more with Florida State at home. Might look the Seminoles' way. Next up, Arizona went to Kansas State. They were on fire. Kansas State, who is a giant killer right now, knocked off Iowa State at home, Kansas at home, and then ended Arizona's winning streak with a big-time victory. Now Arizona comes back home and takes on a Houston team. Listen, it's always hard to go against Sampson's team. Houston brings it. But if we're getting Arizona +3 or more at home, we might look the Wildcats' way on Sunday. Next one up, a little obscure one for you. Charlotte's been playing some pretty good basketball at home. And I like them at home in this spot, taking on East Carolina. They've been playing some good ball, the Pirates. But if we can get Charlotte at home +6 or more, you might look Charlotte's way as a juicy home dog. Two marquee games. Best game on the board, Alabama and Auburn, and they are going to go at it. Alabama's at home. Nate Oates has the Crimson Tide playing well. They just went into Oklahoma and blew out the Sooners. I think Alabama at home gets the job done over Auburn. Florida just went in, beat Auburn, knocked them off the ranks to number one. I think Alabama at home playing their best ball of the year right now. I think Alabama's probably going to be laying 3 or less. Jump on the Crimson Tide and take care of Auburn at home. And last but not least, Tom Izzo was trying to break Bobby Knight's all-time Big Ten win record, and he didn't get it done at home as Indiana went in to Michigan State and beat the Spartans outright on Tuesday night. They were an 11-point underdog, won the game outright. I think Tom Izzo goes into Illinois. I think they're going to be getting 4.5, 5 here, maybe more than 3. I think Michigan State upsets Illinois on Saturday, and Izzo passes Bobby Knight for most wins all time in the Big Ten Conference. Let's look for Michigan State plus the points. That's it, everybody. 2 for your money is done for this week. See Steve and I here back next week. We'll continue to take a look at some college basketball and also be looking out for our reality show Cappers, which should be streaming on Pluto or somewhere near you. I'm Brandon Lang. Good gambling, everybody.